Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. Today I am going to wrap up with the Stray Kids reading, their individual readings. I was planning on doing this back in September and then I don't know what happened, but we're in November now. So in this reading, I'm going to work with IN and we're going to focus on 4 different sections, which will be his current energy, his career, his love life, and then any healing messages that come through. Let's just jump into his current energy to figure out how IN is doing right now. So we have 3 cards, pretty good. We have the Moon, the 8 of Cups reverse, and the 6 of Pentacles reverse. So right now it seems like he is a bit confused because he's not aware of something that's going on around him. We have the Moon, and the Moon usually talks about mystery, the subconscious, things that are unknown to us, things that could be a bit confusing or a bit foggy. And with this Moon card right here as being the first card that comes up for him, I feel that he could be going through some sort of awakening. Now, I'm saying it that way because I'm thinking back to all of the other Stray Kids members and they had similar things going on with them, like trying to do things differently, trying to follow their heart a bit more, or trying to just change their way of doing their career and their work so it satisfies them a bit more, because it seems like many of them have been more aware somehow. And this awareness could be knowing themselves a bit better, or knowing the situation they are in, or trying to be a bit more independent with their way of thinking. And because of that, it naturally just affects their way of acting and their approach to their whole life. So with him, I think it's something similar. So with this Moon card here, it shows like he has been going through something similar. He's growing up. He is trying to look out for himself a bit more. He's trying to do things differently so he can like figure out what actually fulfills him and satisfies him in life. And I think it has been a bit challenging for him, or currently it kind of is, because he may feel a bit stagnant. So I'm saying that because the 8 of Cups reverse could symbolize someone that's finding it very difficult to walk away from a situation. And usually this card upright talks about someone that walks away from a situation because it doesn't emotionally satisfy them. Like, it's not something that they like, it's not something that they enjoy, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, or like they're walking from a bad situation. It could be, but it could usually mean that it's just someone that realized that what they were going through wasn't really for them, so they decide to just go through a path that could be a bit more challenging, but it might be a bit more rewarding. We do have to keep in mind that after the 8 of Cups, we have the 9 of Cups, and that card talks about emotional fulfillment and a wish come true. So it is a risk worth taking. However, for him currently, it's not something that I think he finds it very difficult to walk away from a situation that doesn't emotionally satisfy him. And I don't think it's necessarily because he's afraid. I think it's more along the lines of him not really knowing which path to take or what his options are. Because with the Moon card, I mentioned that it could be confusing, there's a sense of mystery, things are not clear for him right now. So he doesn't know which path to take or what to do, because he may not know what his options are, or he may not even fully grasp and realize that where he's at right now is not something that really makes him happy, or like there's some changes that he has to go through and maybe some baggage that he has to release, but he's not fully aware of it. So I don't think he's resisting change as much as he is just not fully aware of what his options are. And some of these options could simply mean like not tolerating something that he doesn't like, or just changing something or shifting something in his life that, even though it's just a little change, it could create like a big influence of making him feel a lot better. So I do feel that this is something that comes from his heart, so that could be what is confusing for him right now, because he may not be fully connected to his emotions and his heart that could guide him and telling him in an instinct type of way what works for him and what doesn't. But then we have the 6 of Pentacles reverse, so he may feel like there is an unfair relationship. Now I'm using relationship not as in like partnerships or in like something that between two people. I'm saying relationship as in like just a connection, right? So he may feel that there's like this unfair connection or environment or something in his life. And this could be connected to his career. Like he may feel, because his Pentacles energy, so he may feel like either his finances are out of balance, or he may feel that in his career he's not getting as much as he's putting in. So whatever energy he puts into his career, he may feel like he's not being rewarded the same way. There's something that is just out of balance for him, and this could be what is creating like this unsatisfying feeling within him. He may be working very hard and feel like he's not getting the results that he was aiming for or that he had expected, and that could be a bit frustrating and disappointing for him. Now, I do feel that this could also be because he may not really understand that not everything is under his control, right? He can put all the effort he wants. It will not always be up to him to get the results that he's actually aiming for. So I think this is something that he shouldn't be too worried about, but we will see in his other sections what this Six of Pentacles could be talking about. But to me, the Six of Pentacles talks about an equal give and take relationship. And again, it doesn't really have to be with people, because I don't think this has to do anything with other people as much as it's a situation, a vibe, an energy. And again, this could be the reason why he may feel a bit frustrated and confused, because maybe he is surrounded by wonderful people, so then he asks himself like, what is wrong, or like what is it that I'm not satisfied with or happy with. So that could be something that is confusing him at the moment, and that could be throwing him off balance as well. And I think this could be shown in his career a little bit. Like, I don't know how you guys see him or how he's been doing, but this Six of Pentacles could be like his finances are a bit out of whack, or maybe he feels like it doesn't matter how much effort he puts in his work, it just doesn't really mount into anything. So he may feel like it's useless somehow, like his efforts are not paying off. But let's jump into his career and figure out what's going on with Ian's career. We have 3 cards. I'm just going to take the bottom of these. Never mind. Those 2, I guess. So what's going on with his career? Okay. So we have the full moon in Capricorn with the end of a tough cycle approaches. We have void of course moon with nothing will come of the situation. And then we have the golden egg. So I'll put them like this for now. So let's see. So with this Capricorn energy in his career, it kind of makes sense. I have my 10th house in Capricorn, so to me, Capricorn just kind of symbolizes career and work. And because of that, I think it's very appropriate that this card is right here. So with the end of a tough cycle approaches, I do feel that this confusing energy that we saw earlier for his current energy is going to eventually go away because I do feel that this was talking about his career, or it will greatly impact his career. And I think that these cards right here are kind of showing that he is slowly coming to an epiphany or a conclusion within his career. Like he's finally like whatever was making him feel stagnant in his career is eventually going to go away, because he's going to open up to his heart chakra. If I got this correctly, the golden egg is connected to the heart chakra, so I do feel that he is just slowly nurturing that part of him, or at least being more aware of what he emotionally feels, and that will definitely be like a compass for him to help him figure out what is right for him, what is not right for him, what does he enjoy and what he doesn't enjoy, and eventually find this new perspective and this new way of doing things, which has been a common theme for all of the Stray Kids members so far. This sense of like following their heart, or figuring out what they desire in life or what their goals are, and shifting their career so it fits what it is that they're aiming for. So I do feel that many of them could be getting a bit of independence, or a bit more option or more freedom to make a choice of sorts. And now that they have that freedom, many of them are asking themselves how they want to use it, or what endeavors they're going to embark on. That's what I wanted to go for. So I do feel that the end of the tough cycle that he's approaching in his career is one where he's listening a bit more to his heart, figuring out what goals are for him or like what he's aiming for. And because of that, the tough cycle that he's ending is the confusing aspect that we saw in his current energy. And with this Capricorn vibes that we have going on in his career, he will be able to this epiphany that he's having, or this like eye-opening experience, is going to be one that will help him figure out what he wants in the long run for his life, and what are his long-term goals, and how he can slowly approach those and make them happen. I do feel that he will expand his network in his career as well, and he will connect with people that are in the same vibe or in the same goal as him, and that will be very beneficial, because I see Capricorn as a sign that is very good at networking in relationship to like what they're aiming for in life, whatever their goals may be. Also, in his career, he will eventually become a lot more, I don't know why it's important, but he will become a lot more respected for his work. So maybe there is something that he's going to pour his heart and energy into, and he will really appreciate for people to acknowledge him for the art that he put in it, or for the work that he put in it. So I do feel that this could be the results that he may have been aiming for, that he may have felt he was lacking before. But this is in the future. I think right now one of his biggest focuses will be to create a stronger foundation, because Capricorn is connecting to Saturn, and I'm thinking of like those tests that we kind of encounter in our life, that even though they're challenging, even though they're difficult, and sometimes we have to be very patient to accomplish those goals, at the end it does pay off. Saturn is a planet that can be quite restricting, but at the same time very rewarding when we overcome those obstacles. So I do feel that in his career, even if he may feel it's kind of like, putting emotions in a career, I mean, he's in the arts, so I guess having his heart in it is important. But I do feel like he will be quite surprised to figure out that going through his emotions and following his heart was actually the answer that he needed to succeed in his career, at least the way that he had expected. So, or he had wanted, but he probably did not expect. Now, with a void of course moon, nothing will come of the situation. I don't feel this is actually negative at all, as much as I feel that this is kind of like a reassuring message that whatever he's afraid of or whatever he's worried of, it's something that he can easily let go of, because it's something that it will not pan out. So if he's worried that whatever risk he takes in like taking the leap of faith or following his heart will get in the way of his career, that's something that he doesn't have to fret. That is something that he does not have to be worried about, because it's not going to play out that way. It's going to actually be very, very beneficial for him to follow that, like those emotional desires that he has in his career, those creative risks that he wants to take. Those will be very beneficial for him, even if he is not aware of it right now. When he goes through with it, even if it doesn't give him the results that he had wanted or he was expecting, at the end of the day, it will be like a stepping stone towards something that he does want. So I'm getting those happy accidents, those times that maybe he was in his case, like he could be aiming for a project and he's working towards it, but then something doesn't work out, but then he realizes, oh, this could be a very good idea, or this could be a very good method, or I don't know, art style or something along those lines. Like it happened by accident, or it may have not been his intention to do something, but at the end of the day, it is quite rewarding because it becomes a learning experience, or just something that makes his work unique. But let's take out the tarot to get more details about his career. Oh goodness, it's perfect. I usually take only 2 tarot, so it's perfect that we got exactly 2. So we have the Page of Wands and the Queen of Cups. So this kind of shows that in his career, he is allowing his creativity to flow through. His intuition is going to go crazy good. Go crazy good. He's going to be so in tune with not only his heart, but also his inspiration is just going to be overflowing with creativity. And I do want to mention that the moon is Pisces energy, which is a very intuitive sign. And the Queen of Cups is Scorpio energy, which again, pretty intuitive as well. So I think he's going to delve into things that he had not been aware of before. So maybe the occult, not in a bad way, because I mean, we're talking about astrology right here, which is connected to something like that. So I do feel like you guys will understand. But what I'm getting at here is that he's going to start connecting to like this bigger ideas and these bigger messages and tackling on maybe untangible things like emotions, thoughts, goals that people may have that cannot be expressed as clearly, and it's more like something that people feel. And I think he may be tapping into like that type of vibe or that type of projects. So trying to communicate something that can be felt, trying to communicate thoughts and ideas that are intangible. So I don't know, like the meaning of love, the meaning of success, the meaning of desire, the meaning of accomplishment. Those things that are quite unique to each individual, but at the same time we can kind of all agree that it feels a certain type of way. So it's very big ideas that he may be bringing into his career, and trying to communicate that or expressing that can be quite challenging. But I think his creativity and his inspiration is going to be so overflowing the moment that he opens his heart, that he will begin tackling these projects in a way that he did not know he had within him, if that makes sense. So I think he will surprise himself as well with the potential that he has in tackling such themes. Also, with this page of wands, we have an individual that is quite young and inexperienced, so he does not have like years of experience on how to tackle these themes and these ideas, but he definitely has that spark and that motivation to try these new things. So I do feel that when he opens up his heart, he will become a lot braver and courageous to tackle on such themes and such ideas. And even if he doesn't know the full extent of like how he can go through this journey, like he doesn't know step by step how he can accomplish such like ideas and make his projects a reality, he will not be discouraged because he has so much motivation and inspiration, and that will be like his driving force to go through with his projects, and he will succeed in creating something tangible out of ideas that are so big and maybe not as straightforward, if that makes sense. So I do feel like he is definitely going to succeed in his career by creating like maybe the emotional, I don't want to hide the, I want that card to pop out. So I do feel that in his career he will open up his heart, and that will be very beneficial for him, and he will succeed, maybe not the way that people expected, but he will definitely have the emotional success that he was looking for, and in this case the emotional satisfaction to achieve his dreams. But let's jump into his love life. So let's figure out what's going on with his love life. The first card that we have is the moon in Aquarius, with bring love into the situation. Okay. And we have the bear. So I have a feeling that he may have not really delved too deeply with his love life. Like he may have put that on hold for a very long time. And if he wants to tackle that side of him, it's going to be very rewarding for sure. But it is, I think his heart has been closed off for a very long time. And because of that, he may not really know how to approach romantic relationships. But I'm also getting a couple of things. So with the bear, here we have an earth element. So there's a sense of stability, a sense of being organized and plan things out. There is a sense of being grounded. So having his feet planted on the ground firmly. So there's this sense that he wants to bring some stability into his love life, or kind of tackle that side of him. Like maybe explore his love life in a romantic sense. With bringing love into the situation, I do feel that this could also be related to family and friends. So in his love life, he may be aiming for stronger or closer bonds with the people that he cares about. I do feel that he may have felt for some time that he neglected either family or friends. Not necessarily because he doesn't like them anymore or because there was fights or anything. It more along those lines that he was so focused on his career that he kind of just left in the cold or abandoned those relationships by always being busy. So I think he may come back to trying to create stronger bonds or trying to create beautiful memories with the people that he cherish. Well, the people that he cares about. For whatever reason, I couldn't say that word. Anyway, so also with this moon in Aquarius, I have a feeling that he is going to aim to have relationships where he can feel free, where he can feel like create a healthy distance to continue doing what he loves, which seems to be his career, but at the same time have it very clearly communicated that he cares about these people and that he wants to spend time with them when he has the time to be with them. Because I'm thinking of how this is actually not really connected with Aquarius, it's actually connected with Sagittarius people. Sagittarius is a type of energy that does not like to be tied down, and they prefer to be in relationships where they have the freedom to do what they want and be who they want. This doesn't necessarily mean like sleep around or be with a bunch of people. It's more along the lines of like, you know, having the security that they have someone they can go back to, but at the same time having the freedom to continue with their adventurous soul, travel places, explore new things. So I do feel that I was getting those vibes with this Aquarius energies. I do feel that in his love life, he wants to create something like that. He wants to create relationships that be with people that will understand his need to be on his own, his need to just focus on his work and on his goals. But for these people to also know that he does care about them, even if he's not always with them. I do feel that his way of showing love could be a bit detached. I mean, we do have an air element. So he wants to create very solid relationships with people. Again, this could be romantic as well, but he just wants to create solid relationships and have this strong foundation where people know that he cares about them, know that he will be there for them and support them when he has the time. But at the same time, he wants to have the freedom to explore all of these ideas that he wants to tackle and the projects and goals that he's aiming for in his career. Again, he seems like he wants to communicate and express something big in his life, and he wants to make sure that relationships don't get in the way, but at the same time that these people do know that he cares about them. So he could have been very distant for a very long time, but I do feel that he just needs a lot of time to just concentrate on what he's doing, and he may be the type that doesn't like to get distracted, and because of that his relationships could suffer a little bit, or maybe he feels like that. But also with this bear, I do feel that he is someone that can be quite like physically clingy, or like, because I'm thinking of like a stuffed animal or a teddy bear. So I do feel that he is someone that likes to cuddle and be with people. So he may need physical proximity with people, but maybe he's not emotionally attached. So he could feel a bit cold and distant to some people. But yeah, I do feel that he's working on his communication, or like he's working on figuring out a way for people to know that he cares about them, but still have the space that he needs for himself and his goals. But let's get some more details about his love life. By the way, the bear is supposed to symbolize like an awakening, or waking up from a slumber, which could be talking about a spiritual awakening, but since it's connected to his love life, I do feel that what we saw earlier with like the golden egg and the moon over here, one of the things that he's like waking up from, or the epiphany that he's going to get, well, you know, it's supposed to be like opening up his heart, right? So I do feel like he's reaching this point in his love life where by opening up his heart, he's going to realize that he has been neglecting some people, or he has kind of left them out in the cold, and he will start to try to connect with them and create deeper bonds with people. So that's like the awakening here. So let's look at his tarot. We have the Ace of Swords. So this definitely talks about him wanting to have better communication with the people that he cares about. Maybe he's getting a better idea of how to communicate his ideas. He may have felt very confused for a very long time, so now he's he feels a bit more comfortable, and he can like open up better and communicate what he thinks and communicate a lot clearer because he's thinking better. Thinking clearer. So he's able to finally express what he really wants to say, and he will, in his love life, one of the things that he's going to do is that he's going to, since he has opened up his heart, he's going to have better communication with people, because now he's going to be a bit more understanding with them. He's going to be a lot, since he's aiming to have deeper connections with people, he will naturally be able to just communicate those ideas and those thoughts better, because now he has a better understanding of his situation, his goals, and therefore he has more space and time for other energies to come in, which is the people that he cares about. Also, with this Ace of Wands, because he's going through this new beginning, so I do feel that he's going to, one of the ways that he's going to create deeper connections with other people is by asking them how they're doing, asking them what they think. You know, these questions that kind of show that he has an interest in them and that he wants to be involved in their life by just knowing how they're doing or what they're up to. And that will help him create like the sense of like, oh, you know, he cares about me. That's good, right? Like I do feel that the people that surround him all of a sudden are going to be like, oh, okay, now he has time for us. I don't know, that kind of vibe. Yeah, we have the Page of, I was gonna say the Page of Hearts, which, I mean, that's not wrong, but like the Page of Cups. So one of the things that, it's reversed though, so he is kind of struggling to like fully pour his heart out to people and like say, this is how I feel, this is what I think. I think he may not be very spontaneous with his emotions. Like, I think he's going to hold back a little bit because it's not, I don't really know how he is as a person. I don't know like much about his personality, but there is a chance that IN might be a bit cold or distant, or like he's not like super emotionally attached to people, or like he doesn't express himself through his heart. His way of expressing with others is a bit more like, I was gonna say traditional, a bit cold and distant and a bit detached. That's the best way I can express it. Like, to some people he may seem like old business sometimes, and that's just his, based on the cards, that's just his personality. He, instead of showing people how he feels, he will tell them how he feels or how he felt about something. I'm thinking of like maybe a Virgo moon. I tend to have this. I'm a Virgo moon, where I find it very difficult to be very spontaneous with my emotions. So if I get angry, I usually suppress it by thinking to myself, okay, I need to relax. Let me go through this. What made me angry? How do I express this, right? So this is not this. So with him, I don't think he's like, I don't think it's natural for him to just express how he feels on the moment. I think, similar to what I just said, he probably just kind of holds himself back. And I think that's just his natural state. Instead of showing how he feels when he feels it, he usually kind of holds it back and expresses to people with words how he felt. Like, oh, what you said hurt me, instead of showing that he was hurt at the moment that it happened. I do feel that it will take him a while to just express to others how he feels about them and how those people make him feel, because that's just not really natural to him. But I think he's going to make that effort, because by opening up his heart, that is kind of like the natural consequence of, or like the natural reaction, I guess, of something like that. Lastly, we have Strength. So the Strength card is, so it's Leo energy. So I do feel that in his love life, there's a sense of loving energy coming in, energy that brings him back to life, energy that brings him this sense of everything will be okay, like this optimistic vibe, and just happiness, pure happiness. But the Strength card is supposed to symbolize the vibe or the energy of someone that does not only use like they don't use brute force to solve a problem, but instead they use their charm, and they use like this feminine energy to like tame a beast or overcome an issue. So in this case, in his love life, this is just supposed to symbolize that he's opening up his heart, he's guiding himself through that, and therefore he's creating very strong connections with people by creating these deeper bonds of understanding and caring. It's like without having to say it, everyone understands that they will be of good support to each other when they need it, that they will always be there for each other. And being there for each other is more than just like maybe financial help or maybe solving an issue for each other. It's like, I'll listen to you when you have a problem, or I'll be there to like give you a good hug if you need it. Some way of, emotional support. That's the best way I can describe this. So I think in his love life, one of the things that he will learn is the strength of having a solid emotional support group, maybe friends, family, or even romantic partners, which I did mention that he may start dabbling into that soon. Now let's go into his healing messages to wrap up his video. So any healing messages for IN? Let's see. So the first card that we have is the Spider Spirit with Make Your Dreams Real. The other card that flew out was the Owl Spirit with You See Clearly Now, which, this is a very good card to get after like the Moon card that he started with. And the last card that we have is the Lion Spirit Reverse with Be Generous of Spirit. So let's check this out. The Spider Spirit. To me, spiders have always meant networking, connecting with people. Because you know how spiders they make a web. And to me, that has always felt like connections with other people. And that's why I see it as networking, maybe even soul family, that kind of vibe. So this Spider Spirit with Make Your Dreams Real, I feel there's this sense of like he will learn the value of working with other people, because I did talk about networking with the full moon in Capricorn that we got in his career. So I do feel that in this case, the healing message that is coming through for him is that the deep connections that he's making or establishing will be very beneficial for him in the long run in creating his dreams. So there's two ways this will manifest. One of those ways will be that the people that he knows will give him the opportunity or like the resources necessary, like the materials he needs to create his projects that will naturally give him like accomplish his dreams. I feel like I said that messily, but like I hope you understand what I'm getting at. But the other way that this will manifest is that by opening up his heart and connecting with people, he's going to get different perspectives about like an idea. So if he wants to make a song or work on a project related to love, by connecting to other people, he will understand that there's different types of love, there's different types of expressing it, and all of those things will give him the information, or in a way, the materials that he needs to express through his art those emotions, and that will definitely give him very good results in accomplishing his dreams. So one of those ways, people, resources, and opportunities, and the other way is just understanding in great detail and better and deeper the themes that he wants to tackle on, or like the themes that he will want to communicate through his art. So that's how connections and networking will make his dreams come true. Now with the Owl Spirit, with You See Clearly Now, one of the guiding vibes that this owl is giving him is that he will be able to discern who is there to help, who is not, discern what ideas are healthy for him and are not, in the sense of like what is baggage, what is fear, and releasing that, and also being able to identify what is a good risk to take. So I'm thinking of like a calculated risk, being a risk taker and jumping into the unknown but not being reckless. So I do feel that this is where the Owl Spirit will help him, being able to discern and knowing what's good for him, and also knowing which paths to take or what his options are. So kind of opening up his eyes to these new perspectives, being able to see different ways of solving a problem, different ways of overcoming challenges, and not feel overwhelmed when he doesn't know something or when he doesn't have all the answers, which I mean the moon card kind of expressed earlier in his reading that he was very confused because he didn't really know what his options even were. Lastly, the card that we have here is the Lion Spirit with Be Generous of Spirit. So this card reverse kind of shows that this is something that he finds a bit challenging, and the thing that he finds challenging is how to connect and work with the unknown. I do feel that this could be connected to his spiritual team. Like, he finds it very difficult to connect in like his spiritual team, his spirit guides, his higher self, or like that higher power, which is everything that is outside of his control. So I do feel that he finds it very challenging to identify it or have a name for it or a label for it, where he is able to like understand what it means to him and like what it does. So I do feel that this card being here kind of shows that it will be quite challenging for him to, if he were to be open up spiritually, it will be very hard for him to ever identify those terms and kind of like work with them. I think that in this case, his spiritual team will work with him in a quite discreet way by just inspiring him, giving him ideas, and helping him through his work. But I don't think he will ever be like, oh yeah, I connected to my spirit guides and created this beautiful project. You know what I mean? I think with him, it's going to be a bit more low-key. Like, all of a sudden, I had this epiphany and this, you know, I was able to complete this work or this project that I'm working on. So this card being reversed is not necessarily bad, but I do feel that he kind of needs to learn how to surrender a little bit, in the sense of knowing what is within his control will help him get the knowledge necessary and the skills necessary to accomplish his goals. But also, by surrendering and not doing everything on his own, he will be able to release some of the stress and the overwhelming burdens that can come from trying to accomplish such big ideas and such long-term goals that he has been establishing for himself in his career. So this is kind of like, you know, having like that balance between working and improving himself as a person, but then allowing the universe and life to just go its course and slowly bring to him opportunities, and then he can just take advantage of those opportunities because he already has the skills and the knowledge necessary because he was working on himself. You know, that balance. So yeah, I hope you guys like this reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was quite lengthy, but I think it was worth it. It's one of those things that what had to be said, it was said. And I do wish him the best of luck, so like that he is able to get the clarity necessary to start tackling his new perspective and his new goals in his career. I'll see you guys on the next one, whenever that is, however that is. Thank you so much for joining me on this long journey of completing the individual readings. This has been like my goal for the year, to complete the individual readings of the 4 groups I started, and I am finally done with 1 group, which is Stray Kids. 3 more to go. Woohoo! Anyway, I'll see you guys on the next one. As I mentioned earlier, whenever that is, however that is, love and healing from my part to you. Thank you for all the love and support, and bye.